yesterday I handed the keys of my home over to an estate agent and became a landlord, not by choice, but because it was the best option for me in a set of very, very limited options. I owe 195,000 for a very small house, an ex-corporation house in Ballyferma, and I am in arrears, and I have been for a number of years. In 2000, I bought a house through the shared ownership scheme. I was working as an administrator in James's Hospital at the time, and I was aiming for a different life. I was hiding, that's what I was doing really, and I bought the house because I was afraid. I was afraid to live my life, I was afraid to be who I am, and through a process of working in the social work department, I was kind of socialised by the social workers. And those women, they saw me before I saw myself, and they encouraged me to go to college. I was saving up my annual leave to go and make theatre. And I was doing stage management, and then eventually I wrote and directed my own show in what was Andrews Lane studio then. And so in 2003, I went back to college. I went to Trinity and I did drama and theatre studies with sociology. And it was a big change. When I left school at 17, college wasn't really on my radar. It wasn't really on my agenda for loads of reasons. So I was then accepted to do a master's in London, and so in 2008, because I was trying to do the right thing, I transferred to a full mortgage so I could rent out my house for the year and pay the fees to go to RADA and King's College. And I transferred to a full mortgage in September 2008, just as the economic system was crumbling globally and obviously here at home as well. So now I'm in a position where I have to be a landlord. It's not something I'm comfortable with. I'm a socialist. I don't really believe in owning land and property anymore. And I'm not afraid anymore. I don't need walls anymore. The security's in my soul. I've learned that through a long process of healing and looking at myself and looking in the mirror and finding out who I am. But that's the situation I'm in. At the moment, as of the 23rd of August, the central bank's statistics show that there's 83,251 residential mortgages in arrears of 90 days or more. There's another number about the same of people in less than 90 days, and I think there's the same again that have been restructured. I think that's mad, to be honest. It's very hard to extricate yourself from a life. I'm learning serendipitously and by the universe again. Yesterday I handed the keys over, and on the same day last year I arrived in Santiago, having walked the Camino way in northern Spain. I walked for 35 days, 34. I was 34, so I walked 34 days, one day for each year of my life and one for the future. And please God. And I learnt a lot of things on the way. I learnt about love in a new way. I always had a lot of love in my life, but I learnt about it in a new way. I met extraordinary people, people that were all walking to change their lives in some way, either for themselves or for other people. I made friends for life. I learnt that I don't like mornings that much, that I'm not great in the mornings. I learned that I'm an addict. I'm addicted to coffee and cigarettes. I learned that one example is I was walking with three other pilgrims one day, and who are now friends for life, to be honest. And we were walking through the woods, and we misinterpreted how long we were going to be before the next hostel. And we stopped in the forest, in the middle of the forest, and we each took out what we had in our backpacks, and shared our food, you know. And we refer to it now as the stone soup meal. And it was my favourite experience. It was my favourite meal on the whole journey. Another day, it was lashing rain. I had rain gear that my friend lent me because I'm from a city. I had no idea what I was doing, walking over mountains and all. Like, I really had no idea. So I learned on the go, but I had rain gear that my friend lent me, thank God, and I kept texting her going, thanks for lending me that, because I don't know what I would have done otherwise. I bought rain gear now lately, and I have boots and all now, so I'm a bit more set for my new life. Yeah, so another day I was on my own and it was lashing rain, it was early on, and I really didn't like being a pilgrim at the beginning, you know, I was a very unlikely pilgrim. But as it went along, so this day anyway, it was lashing rain and I was trapped up a mountain. It was, I'd come over this big mountain and I was raging with everything, and I hadn't seen another pilgrim all day except for a cyclist, and they just go by it and bang Camino, how are you, great. And I was sitting all the churches were locked as well, which I think is very interesting. All the churches were always locked all the way along. So this day it was raining and I sat in a church doorway because it was the only cover I could get. And all I had was a tin of sardines and a bottle of water, and I never enjoyed anything as much in my life as that tin of sardines. And what I learned was that I don't need that much to live. So I came home from the Camino and I was depressed because everything I knew to be true in my body didn't fit. It just didn't fit with how I was living my life, because I came back to a life that seemed the same and I was different, you know, and didn't fit me anymore, and I don't think really it ever did, you know. I was very grateful for all the support of my family and for those social workers who saw me and encouraged me to go and do what I was meant to do. So I thought, what can I do here? I'm in a lot of trouble. I won't swear. I tried to engage with the bank. My most recent experience with the bank is that I met a lovely man who is the kind of liaison go-between person, one of them, and we had a great conversation, and I did the lovely financial statement again, and he agreed with me that I could have 3 months interest only on the basis that I was going to rent my house and become a landlord and all that kind of stuff. And then a few days later I got this letter from the bank, from head office, saying that in response to your recent request for an alternative payment option for your mortgage, basically your request has been declined. And the options that they give you, that they've given me, are voluntary surrender, and as my ma pointed out, no surrender, what we have we hold, and voluntary sale. And both of those for these 83,251 people, I feel like I'm the one, because I don't want my house anymore. I want to be free. I want to live in the universe, in the love. I want to live with what I know to be true in my body from the Camino experience. So I don't want to live there. I'm one person. I don't have dependents. That family that you spoke about, there's hundreds of thousands of them, and that's who I'm worried about. I just have to deal with this, because I can't walk away from my home and owe 100 grand negative equity, because that's the situation. You can't walk away and there's debt forgiveness. There's only debt forgiveness in this country for the banks. It's not for us, do you know? It's not for the citizens. So basically, that's where I'm at, and what I did was I gave away everything I own. So all I have is a rucksack now, and I gifted everything else I own to charities. I gave some books to Dublin Youth Theatre, I gave some books to the Fringe, I gave me rainbow flag to belong to, I gave all my clothes to St Vincent de Paul, I gave individual gifts to people. That's what I'm in control of, you know. I can only do so much. Thanks very much.